making spaghetti sauce today, and I have 1 large onion that I've chopped, 2 large carrots, 1 large red pepper, and this is frozen chopped celery, but it would be about 1 to 2 stalks of chopped celery. You'll notice I didn't chop this real fine. I'm going to put this in my cast iron skillet, which I have heating up right now. I'm going to put all of this in that skillet and let it start getting soft, and then I'll be adding my tomatoes. I'm going to show you how I process my tomatoes before I put them in my skillet. So I take your whole tomato, still has the core, and I like to just cut it in half, and then take my knife and cut out the core, like so. I find it easier and safer to do if I cut the tomato in half first. Take that, and then I don't like seeds in my sauce, so I take my tomato and I put it over a bowl and I squeeze out all of the seeds. Some people will do this because they want to get the seeds out, but they also want to get that excess water out. I've found that if I just throw this away, my sauce doesn't have a good flavor. So I'll show you what I do with that once I get done processing these. So as soon as I'm done getting the seeds out, I'm dropping this tomato in my skillet where I'm frying off my other vegetables. So get all the seeds, as many as you can. Depends on how picky you are. Alright. Here's what the vegetables are looking like. So they're cooking down nicely and getting soft. It's been probably about 15 or 20 minutes. So I'm gonna let them just keep cooking until they're completely soft. So here's where I've already started on some sauce, and I'm getting ready to add my sauteed vegetables and last bit of tomatoes. I have one of these food mills, and I have the largest whole option, and that's going to take care of any peels that may still be left behind. So I'm just going to transfer my veggies over into here, and I'm going to try to leave as much water behind as I can because I don't need that. And so what you do is you load up this food mill, and then you rotate, and while you're doing that, it's compressing everything and pushing it out the bottom. So you do a few that way, and then you have to go back to clean the grate off, and then do so again. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I've finished. So this is what it looks like when you're done with the mill. So you have all these peels, and any hard bits of tomato or anything else that you may have had. So I'm going to clean all of this out, and then I'm going to run my seeds through here. But if you look down there, so I may have lost you with that last little clip because my camera battery died and I had to switch cameras. But I got all of this dry peelings out of this one, and I switched to the tinier holes on my food mill, and that's because I'm now going to run this seedy pulp water through here, and I'm just going to dump it in like so. And yeah, I'm adding water to my pasta sauce, which I don't really want. I'm going to want a thicker pasta sauce, but I found that if I don't add the seeds, if I don't add the liquid around the seeds, that jelly part, then my sauce doesn't taste as good. It also doesn't smell as good, so there's something to that section. So I like to do this extra little step, and then I'll show you what I do to get the water out faster. This is what my sauce looks like now that I've added everything in, and it looks thick, but that's very deceiving. So I've put this on low, and well, I guess kind of medium low, and I'm gonna let this really slow simmer and come back about every 10 or 15 minutes and give it a stir, and I'll show you when I come back to stir why I say this isn't actually thick yet. So you'll be tempted to come and stir, but don't do that just yet, because on top, along with this foam, is water. And you can get that water off. It's a little bit tedious. You can actually see, well, you're fogging up, but if you would stop fogging up, you could see over here the water better. So if you'll watch as it goes into, see if you'll stop fogging up, as it goes into the ladle, you see how clear that was at first? So watch. See how that's just water? So I'm gonna work on scooping some of that off while you're foggy. I'm gonna work on scooping some of that off, and then I will stir it. Okay, so once you've gotten as much water off as you can, go ahead and give it a stir and see how there's a difference there between this thick sauce part and the water that was on top. Sorry, you keep fogging up. So be careful at this point because it does spit a little bit at you. Just give it some good stirs. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to let it cook for about 10 or 15 more minutes with the lid off. And all of those heavier solids will fall to the bottom and the liquid will be on the top, and you'll be able to scoop it off. So I scooped for probably about 2 minutes, and I got, I would say, a cup and a half of just really tomato juice off of the top of it. And it's going to accumulate some more. It's not going to take it long, and you'll be able to do the same thing. And as you keep doing that, you don't have to wait for all of this liquid to evaporate. You can go ahead and continue, and this will be so much faster than waiting for all that liquid to evaporate, but at the same time, because you have all of that liquid from around the seeds, you're getting so much more flavor. Here's what the sauce looks like after it's gotten down to the consistency that I like. And I've taken probably 4 cups of tomato juice off the top. Now you could go ahead and save this tomato juice if you wanted to, just like you would any other tomato juice, and it would be great. Go ahead and freeze it or put it in your fridge or even process it in your canner. So here's my finished sauce. I've added some fresh basil, dried oregano, salt, minced garlic, and a tiny bit of red pepper flakes. And you can see that this is nice and thick now. and I'm going to take this and water bath can this. So it will go in nice clean jars and quart jars and over into my canner.